Okay, so I take the weekend off and I come back, and all my Mormon and Christian and MAGA friends are very, very upset with Joe Biden. They're upset with Joe Biden because Joe Biden was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna fuck up everybody's Easter, and I'm gonna put Trans Visibility Day on Easter. Except for, of course, that didn't happen. It's just that MAGA and Christians and Mormons are dumb, and they think mostly with their feelings. They don't really care about reality. So they saw this as an attack on them, not realizing that their holiday, Easter, it moves. It always moves, right? And so no matter what holiday you had on March 31st, eventually it was bound to fall on Easter. And so that's what happened, right? But the Christians are very upset about this, and I'm dying laughing today. I have been going through Twitter all day, just reading the outrage that I'm sure all of you guys have read. But I'm dying today because it is not lost on me that these MAGA Mormons, these MAGA Christians, are very upset because they don't believe that there could possibly be more than two genders. However, where did they come from? Well, there's this guy named Adam, and Adam needed a partner. So God's like, shit, didn't think of that. Got it. I know how to make a human being. You take a rib. You take part of a rib, and that makes a woman. Hold on. Adam, a male, created a baby out of his rib. I don't know about that. I don't know. I'm just saying some of my Christian and Mormon friends might have a problem with the idea of a man giving birth or a man creating life. I don't know if they're okay with that. But this same group of people who believe that if you're bad enough, God's going to flood the whole world. But don't worry. If you're righteous, you get to be on the boat. It's just you, your family, and literally every goddamn animal that has ever existed. And they'll all just live on a boat. And there's totally a boat big enough to have all the animals on it. Absolutely, there's a boat that's big enough for that. And the worldwide flood definitely happened. And then later on, they're like, we better get some rules for these people. They're getting unruly. So God's like, Moses, why don't you do it? And he's like, all right, cool. What are the rules going to be? He's like, I would tell you, but instead of telling you, I need you to walk up that hill, and there's going to be a bush. And that bush is going to be on fire. And the bush is going to talk to you. And the bush is going to be like, here's the new 10 rules, and then you got to write those on stone and bring them back down. And don't worry, everybody will believe you, because that happens. There's always talking bush. Everybody's seen a talking, burning bush. And those very same people that are, again, upset about this imaginary gender, these same people are the same people who believe that, like, Mary, this lady who was dating a guy named Joseph, got pregnant, and he was like, hey, what the hell? Like, we haven't had sex. And she's like, oh, yeah, God did it. It was God. God made me pregnant. There's no funny business here. Don't worry about it. This is the Son of God that's gonna. And he's like, cool, dope. By the way, we got to go pay taxes. And I know you're 9 months pregnant, but how about you hop on this donkey and I'll drag your ass to go pay our taxes and we'll find a nice stable. And she's like, all right, but what if I have a baby? He's like, don't worry about it. It'll be fine. So then they had a baby that was like in a manger the baby was born around all the animals. And that baby grew up to heal people from like leprosy and blindness just by touching them. One time he was like, God, you know what I hate? I hate fucking swimming. So I'll just walk on this water. And then like other times they're like, we don't have enough fish and bread. And he's like, that's fine. I'll turn these couple fish and couple loaves of bread into enough to feed everybody. And then the Romans were mad about that. They're like, this guy, he's healing all the sick. We sure are mad about that. And so then the Romans were like, well, we better crucify him. And he died. But great news, he was back just like 3 days later. And they're like, hey, you were dead and you were in that tomb and now you're out here. And he's like, yeah, but like, tell your friends, I'm not going to show myself to anybody. And then has never been seen again. Nobody's ever seen this guy again. But again, Christians are very upset that their holiday celebrating all this totally believable, not made up stuff at all was infringed upon by actual trans people who actually exist, who you actually know, and who actually do things. I guess that's what it's like being a Mormon or a Christian or MAGA. I hope you had a rage-filled weekend. You could have just thought about Jesus, but you got a little sidetracked with your rage. Rage on, folks.